My name's Scott Barnett, and I'm the founder of Bizyhood. I've been in the IT industry for a little over 25 years, and I was told that we should talk a little bit about my journey with Bizyhood, which is about a year and a half journey so far, as well as challenges that we found along the way. So I'm going to try to mix in some of the challenges while talking about the business itself. Here's how to reach me, and I'd actually like you, more importantly, very importantly, to take my email down or my Twitter handle, because you all have a homework assignment, which I'll get to in a little bit. All right. So as Dennis mentioned, 25 years. I started out as a geek. I worked for Bell Labs for about 7 years, moved into sales while I was there, and found out that I loved it, and I also found that I didn't really love a big company so much, so I left AT&T to go to my first startup back in 1994, and I have not looked back. So I've worked for enterprise, mostly enterprise software startups, some based here, some in Boston, some in California, some with some really nice exits, some with some horrible exits. So I have what they call the ubiquitous blood on the resume. So a couple years back, I was we were doing some work around our house, and we had a really bad experience with a contractor, and I was pretty upset. So I wanted to complain to someone. And this guy was invisible, no website. I called the Better Business Bureau, and they had one complaint on the guy, but they wouldn't tell me what it was. It seemed kind of ridiculous. Why would you have information if you can't share it with consumers? So I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to figure out a way to get this guy, out in the public. Awesome, thanks. A guy that I used to work with at one of my startups, I was talking with him about the idea, and this was back. What do I need to do? I was talking to him about it, and he had a similar issue in that he used Yelp and a couple of the rating sites, and he never felt that he was getting quality reviews back, that he either didn't know the people that were giving the reviews or the people's sensibilities were different than his. So we came together, and that's probably the very first and most important thing to think about is when you have an idea is if you're going to work with other people, make sure they're equally passionate about the idea, right? Because if you're getting a gun for hire, the passion's not there, it's going to take a lot of, you're going to take a lot of bumps and a lot of hills along the way. So if someone's not really committed to the idea or committed to you, it's going to be tough. So with all the people I talked to, my partner Eugene, who unfortunately couldn't make it here tonight, he's actually working on our new release, so he'd rather code than come here. We just really hit it off. And we took my idea and his idea, and we started talking about it more and more, and all of a sudden the idea got better and better. I'm really not liking this at all. So that was about a year and a half ago. Then what we did is we actually went out. We talked about this a little earlier. We went out and advertised on a lot of the college job boards here in New Jersey because we wanted to get a couple of extra development hands. And we found a guy. He actually wasn't from college. He had graduated, but a young guy, really energetic, and he was interested in helping out. So we brought him on board part-time. My partner Eugene had a buddy who did some UI stuff. Okay, no worries. Okay, all right, cool. We found another guy, Eugene's ex-roommate, who was a UI expert. So we had the makings of a team pretty quickly. All right, I can't walk and chew gum at the same time here. All right, we'll do this for now. So here we have our team. So we got 4 guys. Last summer we started working really hard, developing some product. So again, I think it really is important to have a partner. It's very, very hard to do something on your own. My last startup, there were 3 of us. In hindsight, I think 3 is a tough number because it's always 2 against 1. Well, it might be 3 against 0, which is usually the way it starts, and everything sounds great. And then as you start going, it starts to become 2 against 1. And that's very tough. It's also a matter of how you divide the responsibilities. With 2 people, if you have one person that's more customer facing, sales, marketing, biz dev, you got one guy that's technical and really focused on the product. My feeling is that that's important, and that's really the best of all the alternatives. And again, make sure your partner is just really, really passionate about the idea, because you're going to go through a lot of tough times. If you don't know somebody if you're technical and don't know a business guy, or if you are a salesperson, don't know someone technical, they talk a lot about how you should go dating. So the idea is to meet somebody, don't just jump right in with them. Actually, have a couple meetings, talk through some stuff, make sure you're compatible, go through maybe one or two tough items before you actually seal the contract and get married. I don't know why this went blank. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Oh, now I can do this. All right. So customer development. So this is really, really crucial, and I am a huge, huge fan of customer development. If you don't know what this is, go out and get the book, 4 Steps of the Epiphany from Steve Blank, and read it tonight, because it is world-changing. When I read the book, I felt like I had been doing this my whole career. I always went out and talked to lots of customers and got the feedback before I would go and build my product. I never liked building a product in a vacuum, and surprisingly, a lot of people, that's what they do. You go into your back room, you code for 6 months, and you come out, here I am, and all of a sudden, you hear crickets, right? Because you think you have the greatest idea in the world, but without customers validating it, it may not be there. So customer development is absolutely key. We've been doing this from day one. We are still doing it, even though we've been out on the market now for well over 9 months with a lot of testing going on. So what we did is we launched what we call a user MVP, minimal viable product. I actually haven't even talked about Bizyhood at all yet, right? So Bizyhood is a platform for small businesses to be able to do what they do really well offline, online. So things like talking with their customers online, doing events, promotions, doing loyalty points, reputation management. We have a whole online platform that's going to allow them to do that. And I'm actually going to show you a little bit about that in a few minutes. So what we did first is we started with our users. And we built out a platform, and we had a whole bunch of users come in and start using the site. And we learned more in 2 weeks than we learned in 6 months talking amongst ourselves. Right? They gave us ideas that we hadn't even thought of. They told us things that they loved that we thought were stupid, the things that we thought were stupid that they loved. And it really helped guide us down the road of what we should be building for users. So we did that through last summer, and then in the fall, we launched what we called our business MVP. So this was the side of the product for the business owners. And same thing happened. We had about 24 business owners. They came on, they found all the bugs, they told us what they liked and didn't like. There were some aspects of our site that were wildly confusing for the business owners, and it became apparent to us that nobody would use our site as it was right now, because it was just too confusing. So we took a step back. We've been adding code to address that. And so we have our new MVP, which is going to be launching in February, that kind of has the best of both worlds. It has the user features and the business features. And we know that this is just step 1 of that MVP, that's also going to iterate several times. We may wind up trashing some features that we thought were really important. I'm sure we'll be adding new features. But the idea is that we're trying to iterate every 3 months and come out with something new based on the feedback from our customers. Not necessarily what we think is what the market needs, but actually listening to the market and having the market tell us. I think that's absolutely crucial to success, and most accelerators will tell you the same thing. All right, so customer development in action. So here's your homework assignment. We have been working on a marketing video for Bizyhood that we're going to launch next month on our public website when our MVP launches. So other than a few people who are friends and family to us, nobody has seen this publicly until now. So your homework assignment is, I'm doing customer development on you right now. I'm going to show the video, and I would really love for you either to come up to me after the meetup or send me an email or a tweet and give me your feedback. And love it, that's nice, but what I'm really looking for is, did it resonate, did it not resonate? And if it didn't resonate, why? Right? And that's the whole idea of customer development, is understanding what hits and what doesn't. So if everyone here tells me it's great, I guess I'll feel nice, but that doesn't really help me at all if it's not going to resonate with the general audience. If you see something you like, that's great. What I'm more interested in is what you may think doesn't hit the mark. So let's hope that this works. All right, so I just have to do this, or not. All the best laid plans, right?
Hillary's been running her flower shop for years. Customers return, often with friends, because they know Hillary's there to answer questions, and their feedback tells her when and how to offer discounts and sales that grow a new business. Nope.
Drag it to the left. Yeah. It's on the screen. Yeah.
Hillary's been running her flower shop for years. Customers return, often with friends, because they know Hillary's there to answer questions, and their feedback tells her when and how to offer discounts and sales that grow a new business. Now, of course, she's got a website. It was a great place to start, but the site wasn't built as a place to actually interact with existing customers or prospects, or help them spread the word. Action she knows drives business when it happens in the store. She feels there's more to do, but she just doesn't know where to dig in. Now, her nephew Doug started a renovation and repair company because, like his aunt, he likes to get his hands dirty. He also loves interacting with his customers. While his stunning marble and stonework designs practically sell themselves, he found a way to make sure his customers keep talking about them. He's, well, carved out his online presence on Bizyhood. Potential clients click on his listing, and he answers questions and helps them consider materials and designs. Those dialogues help him get the jobs, and not just for the client who asked, but for anyone who follows the discussion. Doug invites his clients to Bizyhood to review his work, then instantly shares those reviews on his social media sites. Because hey, one stunning fireplace can spark 1,000 imaginations. As his community grows, he can offer targeted ads that invite people to visit his workshop, or promotions that help him move surplus materials. He's even ready for constructive criticism, because Doug knows that's where customer service matters most. Best of all, the more active the engagement on his page, the more Google sends everyone over to drive him business. Today, Doug helped his Aunt Hillary sign up at Bizyhood. With word-of-mouth marketing, customer service, and reputation management, all rolled into one easy-to-use site, she is finally ready to do what she does best here, over here. So, whether you're a caterer, plumber, boutique owner, or a mechanic, Bizyhood helps you get your customers talking.
All right.
Hillary's been running her flower shop for years.
All right, so please reach me afterwards or send me an email. I really would like your thoughts on that. All right, let me go back. Okay. Okay, so what's next for us? Product market fit. So, all right, Aaron and you guys are going to thank me for being the guinea pig here for all this. Here's what we're going to do. Can you guys hear me? Yep. Now, it's fine. I'm just going to talk. I got a big mouth. Okay, so product market fit. That's the next step for us. So what we're planning on doing is we have the MVP that's coming out in February. We have about 24 customers, about 20 businesses that have already said they're going to sign up with us. In fact, they've already signed up, but are kind of on hold based on the problems they found. So we're going to start with them, and then we're going to try to grow from there. The idea for us is that we're going to take a small microcosm of central New Jersey, prove it out there, and if that works, we're going to extend out. We're going to extend out through the whole county, and then from the county to other areas of the state, and then from the state, take over the world. So we know that we need to find a product market fit in the local area. If we can't find that in the local area, then what makes us think we can do it in a broader space? So in our opinion, it's better to be very focused get into a very specific area and prove it out there, than trying to go really, really wide and seeing if anything sticks. In general, my experience has been that that's not really a great way to validate your product. So we're going to be doing this pretty much for the rest of this year, through 2014, with the goal being to meet product market fit by the end of this year. So we're either profitable on our own, which would be awesome, but I think what's more likely is we'll establish that there is a product, there is a market, and we're going to need some extra capital to really get going, at which point then we will go out and look to raise some outside capital. So in terms of some of the challenges, I've heard a lot of folks talk about trying to raise capital right out of the gate. It's so hard these days, right? I mean, if you think about it, we're hosting on AWS, right? We're using MySQL. The cost of our infrastructure per month may be $150 to $200, right? If you can't put that kind of time and money yourself into the business, why would an outside investor come and give you money? So you really got to bring your startup to the point where you're showing some traction, right? Users are signing up, businesses like it. You've got a really high-profile person who's ready to take you into a certain market. Without that, it's going to be very, very hard in this market to raise capital from anybody. So I do hear a lot of entrepreneurs talk about going out and raising money as if that's the first step. And in my opinion, that's more like the 6th or 7th or 8th step. So just a couple of quick screenshots. So our idea is we want to make this as simple as possible. You're going to say you're looking for a specific type of business in a certain town. We're focused on any market. So you could be looking for a florist, a plumber, mechanic, restaurant. But the real key is that you're looking in a small town. We're not focused right now on New York City or Houston or Chicago or San Francisco. This is small towns in New Jersey. So you're going to enter in your information. You're going to get a result page, and actually this page is going to be redesigned almost from the ground up based on the feedback we got from our customers. Our goal here is we've gotten rid of 5-star reviews. Now what we're really interested in is just 3 questions per type of business. So if you're a restaurant, you get 3 specific questions. Any restaurant gets 3 questions. If you're a plumber, maybe a different 3 questions, and so on. So you're going to basically just say whether you're happy, sad, or you didn't care. You're going to give a review. And we have a rating algorithm that we're using to give a score. That's going to be based on a whole bunch of different paradigms. It is based partly on the review, but it's also based on how responsive the business owner is to their customers. It's also based on the wisdom of the crowd, how many people are rating your business, and are you getting any consistency in ratings. So the idea for the business now is instead of a couple of users giving you 1-star reviews, trashing your overall score, you now have control. It's really up to you how responsive you are to your customers and how loyal your customers are. If you've got a loyal customer base, they like what you're doing in general, then a couple of bad eggs are not going to impact your score. So our hope is that business owners will see this as a tool that they can use, that they'll give it to their customers and say, please let me know how I'm doing. We'd like to have that feedback. We're going to promote events and promotions. We're going to give you coupons. We'll do loyalty points with you, and you can do it all in one place. So, startup challenges, there are many. Probably the most important one is focus. We could probably go in 100 different directions right now, and that's the whole the holy grail, right? Is which one is the right road? I don't know if we know the answer. I think we're making really good decisions, but we've got to say no 97 times to saying yes 2 or 3 times. Those are tough decisions to make, right? Are you making the right decision that's going to help move you in the right direction? The other thing is that I did this with my last startup where we were actually doing kind of 2 businesses at the same time and hoping that one business was going to fund the other. Very, very hard to do. Again, you've got to focus. If you're going to do one thing and you're going to be excellent at it, you really have to put 110% of your time into it. The last item on focus would be, are you going to do B2C, or are you going to do B2B, are you selling to small businesses, big businesses? Don't make your ocean so big that that the rock that falls in just doesn't make a sound, right? You've got to really get a specific area and own it. So your overall market should be big, but where you're going to start to validate your model should be relatively small, tight and compact, and something you can measure very easily. Okay. You're going to have challenges with your partner, with your co-founder, with your employees. going to happen, right? Get through the first fight as fast as you can and see if you make up nicely. That's why I said I think it's important to date your partner if you don't already know them, because it's important to go through that first fight and see how you come out of it. If you don't come out of it well, that doesn't go well. There's going to be so much stress. There's going to be so many issues. So I would strongly recommend that. And what else? Make your money last as long as you can. Don't assume you're going to get money from investors, at least until you've got that product market fit. So you got to spend what you need to spend, but be tight with your money and make sure it can last. Try to give yourself 18 months to prove out your model. It's going to take that long at least. And however long it's going to take, multiply it by 4. All right.
Probably have time for a couple of questions for Scott. Anybody have a burning question to ask Scott?
Have you had any experience with working with the Small Business Association, lenders, perhaps small banks that might provide capital for small businesses?
Yeah. So, well, in this current startup, we're just getting started. So, we raised a small friends and family round, and it's primarily my own money. So I do have a relationship with a local bank. I use the same investment or the same insurance company I used for my last startup. They're a local company here in New Jersey. I'm a big New Jersey guy, by the way. I'm very much into, I want to support the ecosystem. The last startup I started, almost all of our service providers were here in New Jersey. We're trying to do the same thing here. My co-founders from New Jersey, our 2 part-time employers are from New Jersey. We have 2 guys that I've worked with before in sales roles that have been helping us, really for nothing. One of them's here today, Andy. He's been giving me great feedback and talking to businesses and providing data with not really asking for anything in return other than, do me right when you guys, actually get the funding and are ready to go. So the answer is yes. As much as we need to here, and it's almost all.
One more question.
How do you differentiate yourself versus competition versus someone say, oh, you sound like you're a search engine optimization guy like Yodel, and I get all these calls from all these different places.
Yep.
What makes you distinctive and different?
So the answer in a couple months is going to be, I have 30 customers. Here's what they have to say. Those 30 customers got 500 of their customers on the site. And, if we follow this trajectory, here's how big we're going to get. Here's how many customers we're going to have. I could sit here all day long and defend my idea on why it's better than somebody else's. The real thing that talks is customers. So we're way more focused on getting customers and getting customer feedback, right? So if anyone here has feedback or thoughts on what I've talked about tonight, I am all ears. If you know people who want to talk to me about it, small businesses, all ears, right? And it's funny, people are reluctant to tell you bad news. Like they'll say, I hate to say that I didn't like this. And I'm like, that's music to my ears. That's exactly what I want to hear. Right? Because if you don't hear that and you're not improving on that, a lot of people are thinking it and not telling you. If you can get a few people to tell you, you can improve on that. That's how you get over the hump, at least in my opinion.
Let's give Scott a hand.